Rage Rampage. Ever wondered what happens when a split second of fury turns a highway into a demolition derby? Picture this. In 2022, a driver in Los Angeles, fuming over a minor fender bender, grabs a baseball bat from his trunk and starts smashing the other car's windows. Right there on the freeway, amid honking horns and screeching tires. He didn't stop at the windows, oh no, he dented the doors, shattered the headlights, and even tried to flip the thing. Witnesses said he was yelling like a madman, veins popping, face red as a stoplight. This 35-year-old guy, who later claimed it was justified revenge, ended up causing a 5-car pileup. Fun fact, road rage incidents like this spike during rush hour, with one study showing drivers are 3 times more likely to lose it in traffic jams. Imagine that adrenaline rush, the bat swinging like a caveman's club. Would you risk jail time for a dented bumper? The cops arrived in minutes, tasers drawn, and hauled him off. But here's the twist. In court, he argued it was self-defense, saying the other driver cut him off on purpose. Relatable, right? We've all had that boiling moment behind the wheel, but turning into a one-man wrecking crew? That's next-level nuts. And the fallout? Thousands in damages, lawsuits flying, and a viral video that racked up millions of views. It's a stark reminder that rage can turn a bad day into a lifetime regret. Vandalism Vendetta. Ever seen someone take breaking up way too literally? Jump to 2015 in New York City, where a jilted lover, heartbroken and seething, decided his ex's prized sports car was public enemy number 1. He sneaks into her apartment building's garage under the cover of night, armed with a sledgehammer and a grudge. Within minutes, he's pounding away at the hood, smashing taillights, and even keying the doors with messages that would make a sailor blush. Neighbors heard the chaos and called the cops, but by then, he'd already inflicted over $10,000 in damage. Fun fact, acts of vandalism and rage often stem from what's called emotional flooding, where the brain's amygdala hijacks rational thought, making you act like a cartoon villain. Picture this, him standing there, hammer raised, panting like he'd run a marathon, all because she forgot his birthday. Would you let a bad breakup turn you into a midnight marauder? The guy got caught on security cameras, leading to felony charges and community service. But here's the humor in it. His ex later said in an interview that the car was insured, and she upgraded to a better model, turning his rage-fueled rampage into her win. Relatable example. Think about that time you slammed a door so hard it cracked, but stopped short of total destruction. This story shows how a momentary meltdown can spiral into legal nightmares, yet it's oddly entertaining to watch from afar. Rage-fueled duels. What if I told you that dueling, once a gentleman's way to settle beef, was basically historical road rage with swords? Fast forward to 1804, when Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr faced off in a dawn duel that ended in a fatal shot. But let's dial it back to more everyday madness like in 2023, when 2 neighbors in Texas, arguing over a fence line, decided pistols at dawn was the answer. They met in a field, guns drawn, all because one accused the other of stealing his dog. The duel was broken up by sheriff's deputies before anyone got hurt, but not before shots rang out into the air. Fun fact, duels like this harken back to the 18th century, where over 1,000 were recorded in the U.S., often over petty insults or stolen glances. Imagine standing there, heart pounding, finger on the trigger, all for a fence that's probably crooked anyway. Would you risk your life for pride? Humorously, one of the guys later admitted he was half hoping to miss on purpose, but rage made him pull that trigger. Relatable? Think of online flame wars escalating to real-life confrontations, like keyboard warriors challenging each other to meet up. In this case, the duo ended up with fines and mandatory anger management classes, proving that while duels sound epic, they're just rage amplified to ridiculous levels. Tech Tantrum Outbursts. In our digital age, rage doesn't just smash cars, it fries gadgets too. Take 2021 in Silicon Valley, where a software engineer, frustrated after a 48-hour coding marathon, hurled his $2,000 laptop out a 5th-story window. Why? A simple bug that crashed his project, sending him into a spiral of fury. The laptop shattered on the sidewalk below, drawing gasps from passers-by, and he followed it up by stomping on his phone for good measure. Fun fact, studies show that tech-related rage, or technostress, affects up to 70% of workers, leading to outbursts that cost companies millions in damaged equipment. Picture the scene. Him red-faced, screaming at pixels that can't fight back, like a gladiator battling a screen. Would you smash your device after a frozen update? Or take a deep breath? The humor here is that he posted about it on social media from a borrowed phone, turning his meltdown into a meme that went viral. Relatable example. We've all wanted to eat our phones during a dropped call, but this guy actually did it, leading to therapy sessions and a viral TikTok challenge where people shared their own rage stories. It's a wild reminder that in a world of constant connectivity, our devices can become the unwitting victims of our inner demons. Family feud frenzy. Ever let a holiday dinner argument explode into full-blown chaos? In 2019, a family gathering in Florida turned into a pie-throwing, furniture-flipping brawl over politics. It started with a heated debate at the table, but one relative, seeing red, flipped the turkey platter across the room, sending mashed potatoes flying like shrapnel. Within seconds, cousins were tackling each other, vases were smashed, and the cops were called for a domestic disturbance. Fun fact: family disputes account for nearly 20% of all rage incidents reported, often triggered by trivial things like who gets the last slice of pie. Imagine the scene: gravy stains on the walls, grandma yelling from the sidelines, and everyone swearing it'll never happen again until next Thanksgiving. Would you risk family exile for a political rant? The lighthearted side: one participant joked later that it was the most exciting family reunion in years, even if it ended with arrests. Relatable? Picture your own heated game night turning into a board-flipping fiasco. This story underscores how rage can turn loved ones into adversaries, but with a dash of humor, it becomes a tale worth retelling. Workplace wrath wonders. What about that boss who flips desks over a missed deadline? In 2018, a manager in Chicago, overwhelmed by quarterly reports, decided to redecorate his office the destructive way. He started by sweeping his computer off the desk, then moved on to punching holes in the walls, all while his team watched in stunned silence. The rampage lasted 5 minutes, leaving the office in shambles and him facing a lawsuit. Fun fact: workplace rage costs businesses over $1 billion annually in damages and lost productivity, with stress being the #1 catalyst. Envision him, Ty Askew, bellowing like a bull. While employees sneak out the back, would you stand your ground or hide under your desk? The funny part, he was demoted but later wrote a self-help book on anger management, turning his outburst into a career pivot. Relatable examples abound, like that time you muttered curses at your computer, but taking it to extremes? That's prime rage material. So, there you have it, the wildest tales of rage turning ordinary folks into headline heroes. What's the craziest thing you've done in a fit of fury? Spill it in the comments. Hit that like button if this got your blood pumping. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories. And don't forget to share with your own rage-filled crew.